What's going on, everybody? It's your boy SHADOWxhunter here, back with another drift build video. I hope you guys enjoyed the little edit of the finished R34 build. Let me know what you guys think of my edits in the comments below. Now, I know what you're thinking. Alright dude, enough with 1,000+ horsepower drift builds. Right? Am I right? Well, not only are we building an R34 today, but we're also going to limit ourselves to 600 horsepower. Not a single pony more. To start off, I rear-wheel drive swapped this, of course, as I am a preferred rear-wheel drive drifter. I do not drift all-wheel drive cars that well at all. But then I fully built the driveline, so everything's upgraded to race spec. I then did the suspension too and handling, so everything there is upgraded to race spec, except I didn't put the full roll cage in it because I don't like using the full roll cage. It just adds weight, and when I drift in car I feel like it hinders my view. So then I widened the wheels so I can support 295 tires all the way around. Picked my wheels of choice. And then I added the top secret body kit to it so it looks fly as hell. And then I started playing with the motor. When I built the motor, I had it in mind to keep stock turbos so that way I don't have to worry about turbo lag. You know, I am used to 900+ horsepower, so I always have power on tap. So I did not want to have to worry about turbo lag when I'm in, you know, kind of in a sticky situation. I go to throttle down and I don't have enough power because I'm waiting on the turbos to kick in. So I built 600 horsepower with stock turbos. Now let's break down the tune a little bit. I lowered the tire pressure down to 28.5 psi front and rear to give the car a little bit more traction. I left the gearing tune the same as what it is when you fully upgrade it because I thought the gearing was fine. I didn't think it needed any other help. The car drove just great. So then for the alignment, it's the same as pretty much all my other tunes. It's the same base alignment that I use. I did add a touch more negative rear camber than I usually do because I just felt like it needed a little bit more help. I left the front sway bars alone and increased the rear to help the car rotate some more. So, you know, if you increase the rear sway bars, you get more oversteer. So that's what I did. I stiffened up the front springs a little bit and softened the rears just a hair, you know, as to let the car squat. And I did the same thing with the dampening. I softened the rear and I increased the stiffness in the front just a little bit. It helps the car squat down and, you know, put some power to the ground and rock it out of the corners. It helps keep my speed up, which I really like. For the brakes, I left the pressure at 100% and increased the front brake bias by just a hair, just to allow me to use the regular brakes to help rotate the car mid-corner. And then the rear differential lock is at 100% during acceleration to help keep the car super predictable. Now this tune is shared, so I encourage y'all to install it on one of your R34s and give it a shot. And let me know how it works for you guys in the comments below. This is my first public lobby run with the R34, and since the Bernie's Alps tracks are usually fast sweeping corners, I figured it'd be a nice challenge, a nice change of pace, and it'd really show the difference between 1,000 horsepower and 600 horsepower. I mean, I was down at least 300 horsepower from my usual build, and compared to my GTX build, I'm down 1,400 horsepower. So I figured this would be a nice challenge to show that you guys still can drift very well and competitively with 600 horsepower. Unfortunately, I did not win this lobby. I ended up coming in 4th in this race. I dropped about 30,000 points over the course of the race, so that dropped me into 4th. I believe that if I didn't drop those points or make any mistakes, I would have ended up in at least 2nd, maybe even 1st, because 1st and 2nd place didn't get much farther than about 20,000 points ahead of me. But it is a public lobby. Things happen. People make mistakes. Overall, I really enjoyed this car. It was a nice challenge and it was a welcome change of pace from my usual insane builds. I've also never had any luck tuning GTRs for drifting, so I'm very surprised and happy with how this one came out. Like I said earlier, I will say it's entirely possible to drift with 600 horsepower and be competitive, especially if you have your lines down pat for all the tracks that you're running on. Even on a faster track like the Bernie's Alps, it did swimmingly. It's a very stable and predictable car with this tune, and since we don't have 1,000 horsepower, it doesn't really get away from you that easy. As I said earlier, I really enjoyed this car and I enjoyed the lower horsepower build. So I highly recommend y'all at least download my tune and give it a shot for yourself, or even build a 600 horsepower car for yourself to see how you guys like drifting with lower horsepower if you guys are usually a higher horsepower driver like me. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. And if you like my content and want to see more, please give me a subscribe, as I'm trying to put out new videos every other day, at least 3 times a week. Leave me a comment below if you guys would rather have 1,000 horsepower to drift with or 600 horsepower. I'd like to hear what you guys' preferences are. And thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.